In Episode 1, there was a verbal altercation in Bashu that resulted in the deaths of 3 people from Zijin Hall and the Chai family. Caught in the chaos, Ouyang Feng was arrested under false charges. Feng Heng, the daughter of a judge, was forced to jump off a cliff after witnessing her father's death by the Salt Gang. Rescued and mysteriously treated by the eccentric Huang Yaoshi, Feng Heng's fate took a new turn. Now the journey into Jiangling, the martial arts world, continues. That night, Ouyang Feng and his men languished in Guizhou prison. The guard came and took him to the courtroom. Dim oil lamps lit the hallway leading to the courtroom, where a dignified woman awaited him. He is Tan Min, the leader of Zijin Hall, who is famously sharp in words and fearless in facing anyone. In front of the court table, Ouyang Feng underwent interrogation. Tan Min sat as an examiner, while Ouyang casually chose a comfortable sitting position. Tan Min accused Ouyang of murdering 3 people in Bashu village, 2 of them 13 Taibao members from Zijin Hall, the other from the Chai family. Ouyang Feng refused to admit the accusations, claimed not to know the victims, and insisted he was innocent. Tan Min emphasized that if he is really guilty, then the punishment will be severe. He will even be chased to his original territory. Tension rises as Tan Min shows his displeasure at Ouyang Feng's perceived condescension. She decided to test through 3 questions, which she said it would determine Ouyang's guilt or not. The first question brought Ouyang back to his childhood memories. He remembered when his father was still alive, when he and his brother received a bunch of grapes from an important figure. Ouyang devoured the grapes all at once, savoring the sweetness for a moment, while his brother saved them and ate one each year. For Ouyang, life is to be enjoyed to the fullest, without counting the rest of the time. He likens that if he finds true love, every day with him will be as sweet as a complete vine. Hearing that answer, Tan Min blushed. Apparently, Tan Min fell in love with Ouyang Feng the first time he saw her. The second question, Tan Min asked what kind of woman Ouyang Feng wanted. He describes his dream figure as a gentle, sentimental woman, able to sing beautiful poems and has charm like the figure depicted in one of his paintings. Tan Min continued the third question about the woman in the painting. At that moment, Ouyang Feng had just realized that his painting was left behind at the inn after the previous fight, and he began to get restless. The painting turned out to have an important meaning for him, so he tried to ask Tan Min for help to take it back. Even though Ouyang has answered the 3 questions asked, Tan Min still refuses to let him go. He stated that even though Ouyang didn't kill people, he wasn't allowed to leave, without giving a clear reason. This made Ouyang angry, judging Tan Min to be unreasonable. The tension reached its peak and a fight ensued. Meanwhile, a group of Zijin Hall members from Lin'an arrived. They are artists and swordsmen with nicknames according to their respective skills. Pan Jie, the wood artisan, Pu Yuan, the painter, Yudian, the bamboo artisan, Dong Long, the stone man, and Liu Feng, the hinge artisan. They met Ouyang Feng's men and told to return to the prison cell, but Ouyang Feng's men refused and wanted to wait for Ouyang Feng there. Tension rises. A fight between Ouyang Feng and Zijin Hall's men occurs.
打我！好的，你还。
Ouyang Feng managed to defeat Tan Men and knocked him down until he could no longer move. He immediately left Tan Men and looked for his followers. Meanwhile, Lai Wei, one of Ouyang Feng's men, was shocked when he felt all of his internal strength being sucked away by his opponent's mysterious stance. He retreated, aware that the strength of his opponent was terrible. At that moment, Ouyang Feng came, and the fight stopped. Ouyang Feng immediately brought his two men out of prison. Tan Men was alerted by his men and promised to hunt down Ouyang Feng.
Ouyang Feng arrived at the restaurant to find his carry-on bag left behind. The owner of the restaurant stated that the goods had been brought by the Salt Gang. Meanwhile, Li Wei, whose inner energy was drained in the battle against Pachier, died on the spot. The death provoked the anger of his colleagues Zhao Wei. He urged Ouyang Feng to retaliate. Wang Yaoshi waited at the city border to return Ouyang Feng's bag. At that moment, a group of members of the Salt Gang appeared, carrying a car containing the bodies of Baili and Feng Heng, who were seriously injured. The frightened Salt Gang with Wang Yaoshi let him go as he looked into the car. Wang Yaoshi saw Feng Heng unable to move in the car with Baili's lifeless body, but he chose to ignore it and not interfere. Wang Yaoshi only conveyed an apology to the deceased Baili to avoid an argument with the Salt Gang.
Ouyang Feng was asked to decide what to do with Li Wei's body, as they could not continue to carry it on the journey. Zhao Wei continued to urge him to return and kill all the members of Zijin Hall using Li Wei's sword as a symbol of revenge. However, Ouyang realized that if they returned now, it was most likely that their target had already left, and the situation would be even more complicated with the presence of the security forces. He decided to continue his journey to Lin'an first. His plan is to meet Liu Rusi, his bride-to-be, and explain the disappearance of the painting that is evidence of his betrothal. From a distance, 10 men noticed Ouyang Feng. Despite knowing that the men allegedly killed 2 of his subordinates, his feelings of already falling in love made him reluctant to attack. He only invited Tian to secretly follow Ouyang Feng while ordering the other men to retreat. The Salt Gang's men, who were resting in the restaurant, were shocked to see Huang Yaoshi arrive. They quickly finished their food and left. However, Huang Yaoshi approached them, further frightening them. Huang Yaoshi reassured them, explaining that his purpose was simply to inquire about the injured woman on the hearse. Shi Qi, the leader of the Salt Gang, explained that the paralyzed and immobile woman was Feng Heng. Although weak, she could still speak. Their purpose in bringing Feng Heng to Jiangling was to fulfill the final wish of their young leader, Baili, before he died. Baili intended to give Feng Heng to their paralyzed supreme leader, hoping to learn what had enabled Feng Heng to survive despite falling from a high cliff. After explaining their purpose, the Salt Gang's group quickly departed and continued their journey. Huang Yaoshi was shocked when the waiter demanded payment for his meal. He stopped eating and immediately went out to stop the Salt Gang group. Qi was frightened again, but Yaoshi explained that he simply wanted to speak with Feng Heng, the paralyzed woman in the carriage. He wanted to learn more about her.
During the conversation, it was revealed that Feng Heng had traveled with her father until a brief encounter with Huang, where he had helped her. Feng Heng explained the cause of her paralysis. Huang again helped straighten her bones so she could walk soon.
Feng Heng begged Yaoshi to accompany him. He offered to help with housework and cooking. However, Huang refused. He explained that he had lived alone for years, sometimes not even speaking to anyone for years. He considered bringing another person on the journey a burden. He would leave after administering treatment.
Feng Heng declined the offer, claiming that he now belonged to Huang and would not be able to survive being left behind. Huang nevertheless decided to let her continue on her own, assuring her that she would recover before reaching Jiangling.
Seeing Feng Heng's sadness, Yaoshi made small talk by asking his name. However, Feng Heng was reluctant to tell him his name because he knew Huang would never remember it.
Feng Heng made one final request. She didn't want to lie beside a corpse during the journey and begged Huang Yaoshi to dispose of Hu Baili's body. On his journey, Ouyang Feng encountered the Salt Gang group, who appeared frightened upon seeing him. At a restaurant, while Huang Yaoshi was searching for money in Ouyang Feng's bag, the owner suddenly appeared. Huang Yaoshi immediately explained his intentions, but Ouyang Feng didn't mind. In fact, he even treated Huang Yaoshi, whom he considered a brother, to a meal.
Huang Yaoshi was struck by Ouyang Feng's kindness and decided to accompany him on his journey. Ouyang Feng, who had just buried his men, wanted a drink to drown his sorrows. But he saw Huang Yaoshi's sorrowful appearance and immediately offered his ear and heart to listen to his woes. Huang Yaoshi then recounted an incident that had weighed on him. A woman had claimed to be his, but because he refused, she felt unable to live and asked him to kill her. They had only met twice, and Huang had not fallen in love with her, though there was something about her that touched his heart.
Ouyang Feng offered his perspective on the pain of a broken heart. One could either be trapped forever in suffering or avoid the problem and start over. He then told the story of a wealthy man from the West who had two sons, the eldest son by his legal wife and the youngest son by a concubine.
The youngest son received the greatest affection, but when his father died, his mother took him far away. During the long journey, the son learned that his biological father was actually another man, whom his mother had only been with briefly, but who he always missed. Fearing her late husband's influential extended family, the man rejected them. His mother killed the man, then returned to her late husband's extended family, entrusted her son to her half-sister, and took her own life.
Before she died, she said that if she couldn't be with the man she loved, she would try to find happiness in the afterlife. Ouyang revealed that he was the youngest son. His half-brother treated him well, but when he grew up, he wanted to return to his homeland. Upon hearing this, Ouyang suggested that Huang meet the woman who had disturbed Huang's heart, at least to learn her name, as that was better than dwelling on a nameless stranger.
Inside the carriage, Feng Heng was able to move some of his body. However, the carriage was stuck in the mud. The Salt Gang followers argued about their fate. They feared they would be killed if they reached headquarters. Hearing this, Qi became furious and immediately killed the man. He threatened to kill anyone who dared to disobey his orders. After no one dared to disobey, Qi ordered Hu Baili's body to be placed back in the carriage, believing Huang Yaoshi would no longer pursue him.
someone was ordered to monitor Huang Yaoshi and Ouyang Feng's movements and report them to headquarters.
During their journey together, Huang Yaoshi asked Ouyang Feng not to give him gold, but to simply provide food and lodging. However, the offer was declined. To Ouyang, gold was meaningless. He invited his companion to use his own if necessary, and revealed that he had plenty of it.
The conversation turned to the painting they had brought. Ouyang Feng revealed that it depicted Liu Rusi, the woman for whom he had traveled to Lin'an. Ouyang explained that he intended to bring the woman home, not for himself, but to marry her to his half-sister.
Elsewhere, Tian, Tan Men's loyal follower, discusses the meaning of beauty and femininity. Tan Men asks Tian if she is beautiful and if she seems unfeminine. Tian praises her as the most beautiful woman, but insists that feminine traits are irrelevant. She believes that beauty is a personal judgment, while femininity is determined by the male gaze, which is often unreliable. When men like someone, they praise their beauty, but when they lose interest, that beauty no longer matters.
Tan Min considers this to be beneficial, but Tian warns that loving someone who doesn't reciprocate can lead to resentment. Tan Men suggests killing the person who rejects her love, but Tian rejects the idea, saying that death won't erase resentment. She believes that once the person is dead, all that remains is regret and self-loathing. Episode 2 of Eastern Heretic and Western Venom ends here. The characters' footsteps continue to echo through the streets. Ouyang Feng remains determined to reach Lin'an to resolve the matter surrounding Liu Rusi's painting. Huang Yaoshi, though seemingly indifferent, secretly harbors stories and memories that make it difficult for him to become attached to anyone. Meanwhile, Tan Min Si harbors a dilemma deep within, caught between her duties as the leader of Zijin Hall and her feelings for a man who should be her enemy. The Salt Gang, with its plans and unquenchable grudges, continues to move along its own path, carrying secrets and dangers that could spark bloodshed at any moment.
That's the end of Episode 2's recap. If you enjoyed diving into the world of Eastern Heretic and Western Venom, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss our recap of the next episode. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to join us as we continue exploring the twists, rivalries, and legendary encounters of Jianghu. See you in Episode 3 of Eastern Heretic and Western Venom.